Welcome back, JMA family, to our next lesson in your business course of the RBC curriculum. All right, so this lesson we're going to be talking about product development, developing those PGSs. And so the objective of this lesson is for you all to learn how to effectively develop your products, your services, and your goods. All right, so I'm going to go over an exercise and workbook, if you will, that we've created here at the Jay-Morrison-Academy for our own organization, company, products, services, and initiatives that we're going to share with you. It'll be in your student resources, and we're going to kind of go over this together to make sure you understand this pretty effective and robust document. And so surprisingly, part of business, we're going to talk about it later, is about process and procedures, right? And creating protocols and documenting things, memorializing things. And that's all part of systemizing and automating a business. We're going to dive all into that later. And a lot of times I get, resistance back from my team and my staff when it comes to some of the more formal execution of business. But surprisingly, this is one of the most well-received documents our company has put together. It's very, very effective, especially in an organization like ours where we're consistently creating new curriculum, new products, new services, new goods. Our sister companies, Tulsa Real Estate Fund, Credit to Cash, Easy Funding, my wife's brands, and others, our other coaches, Isaac Grace, Will Roundtree, right? So we have so much opportunity for company creation, product creation, service creation, initiative creation, our nonprofit, the Jay-Morrison Youth Academy, and what it's going to be doing. So we got together at one time, and I had the entire company, right, at least most of us, about 20, 30 people in one room, and staff members, and we went over, okay, we're constantly creating things. How can we streamline the process to be like in an assembly line, right? Especially when it comes to creating our new products, right? And some of the new companies that we are spinning off of our umbrella company. So we wrote it all down and then organized it and formulated it into this document that is called your CPSI, all right? So you guys are gonna pull this up in your resources or print it out, and let's go over it together. So what the CPSI stands for is company, product, service, and initiative discovery, right? And this is the template. And so it gives you an opportunity. One thing we did in the beginning of it is we say, who is it facilitated by? In our organization, who is it requested by? So many times I'll have a new idea for something, and then King Avery or someone to come by and say, hey, King Jay, I'm requesting that you do a CPSI on this. I may or he may facilitate it. We'll have the date it's completed by. It'll be authorized by a pod leader, and then the date it's approved by an executive, right? So this is how we literally create new things out of thin air. And so what you're gonna see when you go over the details is there's several highlights in this particular package, right? So one is gonna be, we look at audience needs, and many of these things are gonna tie into our branding and marketing and many of the things you already learned, right? So I'm gonna just write a few of these things so we can illustrate it this way. So we look at in this template our audience needs, and we did it this way because their needs are going to dictate a lot of the new companies, products, services, and initiatives that we create. So what we have here is needs could consist of wants, conditions, knowledge gaps, or requests. Consider the deficit that exists for your target audience and how that will be filled. So in layman's terms, consider what is missing. Consider what your target audience is missing, what deficits they have, what liabilities, what holes, what gaps, and how you can fill it. So this will help us, again, create the product, service, initiative, or company based on needs that we identified in the marketplace of our consumer, our target audience. Next is when we identify our target audience, the end user or benefactor of the CPSI, of this company, product, service, or initiative. Think about who was, as we said earlier, who was impacted by, excited by, or affected by this concept. And what my team did not put here, I'm working while I'm working, is most. It should be who is most impacted by, excited by, or affected by this concept or the CPSI. And that is your target audience. Right. All right, next. your CPSI name, the name of your company, the name of your product, the name of your service, the name of your initiative. How we start to look at how we fulfill that in developing a new product is this is a critical part of the branding process. When branding your CPSI, be descriptive, creative, and thoughtful about how the name will appeal to your target audience and their needs. So we're going to be thinking about these folks up here as we create, again, this catchy name for our company, product, service, or initiative. The USP, the unique selling proposition, we covered pretty extensively in our course. These ideals should outline what makes the CPSI unique compared to the competition. A strong USP should create pricing, power, and force and quality that explains benefits, right? And so you want to make sure that you highlight the benefits of either the pricing or the quality or whatever's unique about the product. And I told you earlier we would get into mission and vision statement. I believe that every company should have these. I believe that many products, services, or initiatives should even have their own mission statement. Even if it is, there's two types, right? There's an external mission statement, meaning what your customer reads, what you market. But a lot of times you just need an internal mission statement, right, for your team. So many times we will have a product or service or initiative, and no one ever will know what the mission is except for our inner team. Why the mission is important is so that our marketing department, our digital marketing department, our email department, our business development and affiliate department, our call team, and everyone else is aware of the theme, the mood, the function, and the purpose of this particular CPSI. It's all internal, but by knowing the mission statement, it allows our team to be more effective. So a mission statement is a written description of the company's intended purpose. A mission statement should define the company's function, goals, and philosophies. A compelling mission statement will answer the following question. This is very, very important. A compelling mission statement will answer this. What we do, right? What do we do? Who do we serve? And how do we serve them? This is a very great exercise for you, right? You should be looking at, as a company or as a product or as a service, what is it that you do? Who do we serve? And how do we serve them, right? And then secondly, you don't always have to have a vision statement. I like to challenge myself to do it as often as I can, which is why you see an asterisk here in your document on the vision statement. But a vision statement is a big picture description of the company's long-term desired objectives to be accomplished as the company grows. A thoughtful vision statement should answer the following questions, right? How will we serve, and how do we continue to serve our target audience and customers, right? So how will we serve, future tense, and how do we continue to serve our target audience, right? So you want to be able to answer that question in fulfilling your vision statement, right? Business model. We talked about this earlier as well. And again, this is just not for companies, it's for products as well. This should specify how the CPSI will be monetized, generate revenue, and make a profit. These details should be viable and sustainable, right? And so even for a product, you want to look at how is that particular product monetized? If it's an initiative, right? A campaign you want to do, right? How is that monetized? How does it generate revenue or make a profit? And then we get into our CPSI highlights. And so what we do in our highlights is we explain the premium brand value of the CPSI attributes and describe what the customer will get. So this is like what makes it awesome, right? What makes it impactful? What makes this a great CPS or I, right? And so you just want to really put the highlights, the value the customer gets at a high level. And then we get into our tagline. Our tagline, a marketing tagline is defined as a short, memorable description that becomes identified with a product, service, or initiative. The tagline should be complementary to the CPSI name. It should grab attention and quickly further identify your brand message. So I like that. So I'm gonna make another little thing here. Cool. Right, and so as you guys get to do this on your own and explore it, I want to kind of drill down on some of the components with you. Let me find our sample sheet. Should it be? This is not the one with our sample. All right. So I want to talk about you developing these products, going through each one of these exercises, and looking at where this fits your particular brand. And so what we did, if we start at the first one, we talk about identifying your audience needs. So you all have to work backwards, and you have to really look at, in detail, that target audience, that avatar, the person who will be buying your product most, who will be impacted by it most. What is it that they truly need, right? Based on your burning desire, whatever you see in a marketplace, and really itemizing these things. These are going to help you determine how effective your product, service, initiative is, or your company is. In this case, in developing a product. If you feel this out, this will help you narrow down and help you create really, is it that dog walking service? Is it a dog grooming service? Is it an online business? Is it lectures? What is it? Is it a book? All those things will be determined by that particular point. And we gave you some notes here that you also can fill out. Now, so I want to try to give you guys an example. Let's say, again, as we talked about in the real estate space in our previous lecture, and we can take almost any industry now, and you guys can kind of build off of it and work with your teams off each piece. So when we are looking at who is most impacted by our service and product and what their needs are, we're always trying to be the problem solvers, as we talked about earlier in this course. That's really where the money lies, is the ability to problem solve and to innovate and to create. And so when we're looking at an audience need, right? And so let's just take a motivated seller, for instance, right? So if I'm thinking about a motivated seller and what their needs are, then I'm thinking about this person needs likely to sell their property, right? Obviously. And not just sell it, but they need to sell fast. They may need cash, or they may need to just relinquish a debt. Right? But depending on whatever their motivations, they may need to relocate. Right? They may need to sever a partnership. Why all these needs are so important, many of these needs will dictate what kind of product or service that we offer, right? So it's just not, hey, I'll buy your house cash. Maybe we find that the niche, or because a lot of times you can find your USP, right, within the needs. So if you find that many of your target audience are severing partnerships, or they want to relocate, or say it's relinquishing debt, let's say they need to sell fast and need to relocate, then one of your USPs or one of your promotional bonuses, et cetera, in your particular business model may be that not only do we buy houses cash, but we will help you relocate. That might be contributing a piece of profits to help them relocate. That might be bringing a moving service in to help them move, package goods, box things up, or whatever it might be. That might be, again, a unique selling proposition that makes you different than other cash buyers because you also function as a relocation specialist. That could be as simple as, hey, I'm just going to refer you to a realtor in a new area in which you want to move because I have realtor relationships, or I'll have my intern or my assistant or my volunteer or someone on my staff do so. So by identifying the needs, you also can identify special niches, and unique special purposes and products, right, within that audience. That's why it's so good to brain dump and really dive into what does my customer want as opposed to thinking about it very surface level, right? So that's one. Now, we talked about earlier the target audience and who's most impacted and affected, right? And again, this helps you go from just general motivated sellers again. Right? Okay, so motivated sellers are impacted. Is there any way more niche that I can get? Because my goal for my business is to invest in property, right? That's just the goal. I want to invest in property. I want to own property. I want to flip property. I want to hold property for future appreciation and cash flow. Okay, great. So my customer is property sellers for the most part. So now I want to get super niche and say, well, who is most impacted? Is it all sellers that are most impacted by my service? My service is quick cash closing. So identifying your service or it's that CPSI in general, right? Service, good, initiative, product, service. By identifying that, it then allows me to say, okay, I know my service is cash closings quick. So who is most impacted by that particular, motivation of quick closings and cash? Anyone can just buy a house, anyone can get a loan for a house, anyone can get a FHA loan, et cetera, and sell a property. But I want to look at, again, what distressed group can I most target? So maybe I want to target, right, government workers or those in the armed forces who might be on base and who are looking to relocate or move. I may want to target corporations who are relocating, large firms who are relocating to other areas, and I may want to do some marketing to them, do business to business, right, with them. If relocation is my niche, as opposed to cash closings, then I may want to look at people that are downsizing. So I may want to talk to some divorce attorneys and start marketing directly to divorce attorneys to say, hey, I have a special niche product for families that unfortunately are splitting up, and they're going to need not only quick closings, but they're going to need some relocation services, either spouse. That's a particular niche that we do as a cash buyer, right? This is how detailed you can get, and the more niche and detailed and laser focused you get, the more success you'll have in regards to your conversion ratios, right? And so, again, it might be, folks who are in probate who inherited properties and now they're, living in their parents' home, but they don't want us to be in that home, but it's a property they inherited. They want to sell quick and relocate. So as a cash buyer with these unique niche services of cash buyer relocation specialist, right? This is the way that I want to approach my business different to anywhere else or anyone else in the market, right? So again, just trying to give you some practical examples of how you would approach one of these. So USP, we just covered it, right? I found out what my unique selling proposition is the fact that I'm a cash buyer that closes quick and it offers relocation services. I go the extra mile, right? And that's what we'll talk about that in the tagline perspective in just a little bit. And then let's go into a mission statement. So the questions we want to answer with the mission statement is, what do we do, who do we serve, and how do we serve them, right? Great. So what do we do? Close quick and assist with relocation. Right? So we're going to answer these. First step is to answer these questions just point blank. Then we're going to package that into a short blurb to be our mission statement. If you are not the best writer or best creative writer, again, hire, partner, collaborate to your weaknesses, okay? And I haven't used that word collaborate as I've been saying it throughout the course. So let's add that and underline it, right? It's just not hire, and it's just not partner. You may not want to hire or have the budget to hire. You may not want to partner and give up equity, but you can collaborate to you. So you might do a barter, a joint venture. Maybe your strength is graphic design, but you're not a writer. You say, hey, I see you're a creative writer. Or maybe you put it on a school or college job board, or you got an intern and say, look, I'll do some graphic for you, you do some writing for me, etc. It could be a parent, family member, friend, sibling, other, right? So hire, partner, collaborate to your weaknesses. So we talked about what we do. Who do we serve and how do we serve them? Okay, so who do we serve? We serve motivated sellers with relocation needs. And part of my handwriting, we're kind of zooming across the board. And how do we serve them, right? So it's the how. So how we serve them is by providing an extra level of relocation support after closings, right? After the real estate closings, right? So now our mission has to combine these things and has to add up to make sense, right? In a short blurb that answers these questions. So we're going to call this, why not call it Jay Morrison Real Estate? I like the name. So we at Jay Morrison Real Estate, so we're going to talk about our mission statement, right? So our JMR, right? Our Jay Morrison Real Estate mission is, let's see, is to provide motivated sellers with relocation needs, a quick cash closing, and what do we say? Motivated sellers. Okay, and I want to say special. I want to say relocation support, but I want a more descriptive word. This mission means a lot to me right now. A quick cash closing and an extra level of relocation support. This is a better word for extra. We'll just call it that for now. And a supreme. Oh, good point. As you get into mission and writing, thesaurus.com every day. When you know kind of the word you want, put it in the search engine, look at the synonyms, similar words, thesaurus, right? It'll help you, and then go down a rabbit hole. You see one word you like, that's kind of it, hit that. Thesaurus that one. Do you see something else? Thesaurus that one. And you keep going down this rabbit hole. Again, you gotta get into your nerd mode for a little bit and really research and come up with the best craft. So for the purpose of time in this class, we're just gonna say quick cash closings and okay, let's say with a special focus on relocation services, right? I take my writing serious, so I want it to be really good. But again, that quick, a mission statement that answers those questions and speaks to what our company does, right? Boom. Our JMAR mission is to provide motivated sellers with relocation needs, a quick cash closing with a special focus on relocation services. Boom. You know what we do. You get our mission. People in your staff, your organization, get your mission. All right. So let's talk a little bit about, we'll tackle the vision statement real quick. In our vision statement, how will we serve them? How do we continue to serve our target audience and customers? So how will we serve them? we will serve them by continuing to keep our customers' needs our utmost priority. Cool. And how do we continue to serve our audience? How we serve them? How do we continue to serve our customers, right? And so how we continue to do so is by making it a company standard. All right? So, our vision at JMR is to keep our customers' needs. Okay, our vision is to provide a superior level of customer service and satisfaction by continuing to prioritize our customers' relocation needs. Boom, that's our vision. That's our big play. Is we want to be that firm, that company, right, for the future. All right, and so we answered our vision. Then we get into our business model. This should specify the CPSI will be monetize, generate revenue, and make profit, right? And so our business model is quick cash closings with no cost relocation support. That's our business model. How does it make us money? Because we understand that by us purchasing properties at a 65% purchase ratio, and this is our threshold for purchasing properties, and we know that the average relocation support is just a referral to a realtor that costs us nothing. It's really something that an intern can do. Or that our average cost for relocation, even to help move a company, is $5,000. In every acquisition that we do, when we look at the purchase price, as you guys have learned in a real estate course, we look at the renovation cost, we look at any wholesale fees, we look at any closing cost. We always factor in our $5,000 relocation fee into all of our deal assessments to make sure we're still between 65 and 77% purchase ratio. And so we already put our cost into our acquisition model to make sure we're at 65 to 77% of the after repair value. So in every deal we do, we can still relocate and still meet our margins and have add an extra value add and unique selling proposition to our client. That's our model. And now we get to the highlights. Obviously, the highlights are the free relocation services, no cost to the customer, quick cash closings, etc. And then we look at the tagline. I actually thought of one earlier. I should have wrote it down, but it could be similar to this. This could almost even be it, but quick cash closings. Right, quick cash closings and free relocation support. That might be our tagline. Is it simply tell what we do, and niche it out. Hopefully this will help you develop your company, product, service, or initiative by following some of the examples that we laid out here in our CPSI. See you next lesson.